Let's see. Yeah. Samba Sambuddho Bhagavan Buddhan Bhagavantan Abhivademi Swakanto Bhagavatam Dhammam Namami Supatipano Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sangham Namami. Okay, we would like to invite Brother Ya to commence with the class. Okay, so Brother Ya, our session will start now till 6 p.m. Please let us know if you would like to set any break time during this session.
So how many in the class? I see one or
Three
two.
of us,
Oh, three, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sister
Okay.
Raifia, myself, and Sister Visakha.
Okay. So today's topic that everyone must know or should know is the first of the whole course called historical development. We always talk about the origin first before we proceed further to other topics, development, so and so lah. So, is it the first time y'all listen to this topic? Juliana? No, huh?
For the last module that we have studied, but a little bit of additional information.
But this one is strictly according to the history.
Yeah,
Because this subject, historical development, I try not to bring in the traditions, all on pure historical basis, with evidences, this and that. But first of all, when we talk about the origin of Buddhism, one thing you have to aware, Buddha did not officially announce, just calling a press conference, all right, and officially announce to show you a certificate of registration. No such thing. Oh, I hear from today onward, officially declare that Buddhism have been established, this and that, nothing. Even in the sutta, in the Buddhist text, there's no evidence to point out the exact date of formation. And Buddha, in the text, Buddha never said that I hereby declare that I form a religion called Buddhism. Also nothing. It just all this teaching came in naturally, gradually. It's not an overnight event, a formation of Buddhism. You see. Then who used the term Buddhism? Buddha never use the term Buddhism, just because the modern scholars, Buddhas, those people address Gautama Buddha, enlightened one. So Buddha, so his teaching called Buddhism lah. From modern point of view, is a modern term. Buddhism is not an ancient term. Appear in the sutta. How many 2,000 over years ago? There was such term Buddhism. No, Buddha in the text called what? Dharma Vinaya. I know. In the text, Buddha always mentioned Dharma, my teaching, Dharma Vinaya. He never said that. I call it Tipitaka also. Even the term Tipitaka is a later term, you see. So remember, Buddha called his teaching Dharma Vinaya. This term appear in the sutta. This is official term. And if you say, my religion, Buddhism, this and that, all these modern terms by the modern scholar for convenience sake lah. Otherwise, you cannot how to refer to this, how to refer to that, right or not? For convenience sake, we use the word Buddhism. And then, when was it formed? Date of appearance of Buddha's teaching. You can say, from the moment of enlightenment, then we call it. Then we can say that officially Buddhism appear in this world. But the date of enlightenment, when That's a problem, you see. Up to now, as I said, there was no no record in the text mention what year, what month, what date, and so forth. You see, so the modern scholars have some problem to trace out the exact date, historical date. What I mean is that according to our modern calendar, lah, you see. So scholar on and off, now and then, they came up with so many theories, more than 10 theories. Each one say, I follow this method, or I discover something in the text. From there, or I calculate backwards, or the date of Parinibbana should this and should be that. Now, so many, but nobody can say this one is 100% correct, that one is 100% correct. For example, nowadays we say, oh, our visa 2,500 over years. That is according to tradition. Not exactly according to pure history, according to the calendar that you can confirm the date, you see. Only tradition. Then how people determine this 2,500 something. There are three acceptable theories. One we call, I think I have briefly explained a few months ago during the life of Buddha in it. One, long chronology, shorter corrected chronology, and short chronology. Three popular theory accepted by people. So normally people follow 2,000 over 500 over years. That one is when we celebrate Visa, we always mention that that one is according to a long chronology. Yes. First, who determine when was it? This one is based on the Sri Lanka's chronicles. The main one is Mahawangsa. In the Mahawangsa, they list out a long list of Sri Lankan king. They say Sri Lankan king, this one first king, from what year to what year, second king, what year to what year. And then in the chapter 20, this one all appear in the chapter 20, talk about this. Then they give out a timetable. So from there, the Sri Lankan work out this and said, and came up with a theory. Oh, Buddha was Parinibbana 544 BCE, before Common Era. This is how they got it. There was a few hundred years ago, they got this theory, 544 BCE. So people have been using this for many hundred years and become a long tradition. And then from this theory, 544, they add in 2025, correct or not? So this year's visa is according to tradition, not according to history. According to tradition. So the Parinibbana Buddha, all the visa day of this year should be 2025 plus 255 lah. 2569 or something like that lah. Is how they determine year of Parinibbana, this and that lah. Every year people say 25 something. How they come up with it, nobody question, you see. So I just mentioned to you now, this based on the theory of long chronology. It's from Sri Lanka's Mahawangsa that they came out with this year, 544 BC. Then how they got 544, as I told you, based on their lineage, the king, all these things, how they work out very detailed. We don't concern about that. Just remember from the Sri Lanka's Chronicle 544. But then later, the scholar, they done some researchers, they check Asoka's edicts, rock and pillar epigraphy, all the carving. Then they found out Asoka's actual date of coronations was 218. Asoka became, at the bottom of the note, 218 after Buddha's Parinibbana. Then they then again they check the Mahavamsa. Mahavamsa say, oh, Asoka became a king 268 years after Parinibbana. So from 206 from Parinibbana to Asoka's the date of chronologization 268 218 plus 268 the interval. So that should be for something. By right should be for something, you see. Then how come people Sri Lankan follow old tradition says 544? So this corrected long so that shows a different around 60 years 486 218 plus 268 486 compared to 566 early the tradition according to tradition. So the difference of 60 over years. So unaccounted for. So the scholars to make it easier the 60 years they cancel off. So the scholar nowadays they use 484 in the history book. Normally you read the history book, sometimes it confuse you. Some they use 544. Especially a tradition, Visa use 544. Then you read the history book, history of Buddhism. Most of the scholars use 484. The different the 60s is unaccounted period. That's how the differences can be explained. One based on a tradition, long tradition, according to Mahavamsa, and then the other after some verification, they found out the 60-year cannot account for, then the history book used 484. That's a corrected long chronology. Okay. Then about 30 over years ago, 1980 something, I think 88, there was a world conference held in Germany, solely to discuss the date of Parinibbana. Yes, Parinibbana, they have to come up with conference, world conference, So many scholars presented the paper. You see, their plan over theory. You read the book by Hans Purchert, the German scholar. Hans Purchert, I did not mention. Oh, yeah. Hans Purchert. He compiled the books, all the theory, important theory regarding the Buddha's Parinibbana, all mentioned in the book. So the most popular and acceptable one, they found out after the new discovery about Asoka's nation, become a king. They found out Parinibbana date should be around 368. 368. That's a latest theory. So the difference about 100 years again. That means the Asoka's period and the Buddha's period come closer and closer, and not so far. And then Buddha was not so ancient like before, 6th century, 544 year. In fact, it's quite close to Asoka's reign. The time when he became emperor, quite close to that period. Different around 110 years only. Not much different, but the details we are not going to talk so much. It's too academic. What we want to know is the teaching of Buddha. This one they argue, and this Masale like to argue. Try to give a idea the exact date of Parinibbana. That's all. You see, they won't affect your teaching. You see, but one thing you will prove. You prove one thing very important. You know why? Because Asoka's rock edicts and pillars, pillar, I think 13 or what, never mind. Asoka listed out 6 Buddhist texts. He never mentioned Buddhist text. He just said Dharma, recommend the teaching or the following teachings are important that people should follow. Then Then the scholar, modern scholar, have done a thorough research. They found out those teaching the text mentioned Asoka's Vedicts actually recorded or appear in the Pali text in nowadays. So most of these texts appear, you can find in Sutta Nipata. One of the suttas is Rahula Wada Sutta or something like that. That shows that if Asoka's period and Buddha's time, Asoka's record and Buddha's Paridipana, the period is close, that shows that the teachings what we have really existed during Buddha's time and not created out of nowhere because Asoka already proved to you, those teachings existed during his time, and those teachings appear in the rocks can be found today in the Tipitaka. That is very important evidence to prove the authenticity of the Tipitaka today. There's only important thing about Asoka's edicts. Okay. So we just briefly talk about the date of origination or date when Buddhism appeared. There's no clear or exact date. Just give you some general idea. Could be 544, could be 46 something, could be 36 something. It's around that 5th century or 6th century BCE. That's all. That's good enough. Okay. So when we talk about the origin of Buddhism, we have to talk about the conditions. Why Buddhism appear in India? Who make it? Under what condition it appear? That's why we talk about the conditioning. Buddhism or Buddha always talk about condition. There must be something that make it happen. Something happen, So those causes, conditions are very important to understand regarding the formation of Buddhism, because it wouldn't appear out of nowhere. Somebody, not like those people, a shepherd, suddenly like that. Oh, I heard God's teaching from the top, then announce to you. Now, Buddhism is very natural, based on the natural happening. You see, a lot of causes that we have to understand. Then we appreciate how it appears, why it appears. You see, so we have to start from the arrival of the Aryan. Aryan, not the Bumiputra of India. The Bumiputra of India, you can say the Tamil people plus some aboriginal tribe, the unknown without name, we don't know how to call them also. Aryan from the fair-skinned Indian today. They were foreigners, Aryan. They were nomadic tribe, came from Central Asia, today's southern Russia, the side, because they were the rare cattle, and they moved here and there. That's why we call nomadic. There was no fixed place, dwelling place, no fixed settlement. Today, they find this place, not enough grass, green, fresh grass or green grass, not enough water to feed the cow. Then they move to another place, look for the greener pastures, this and that. After a few years, then they move to another place, move here and there, pastoral, you see. So they wander here and there, finally from southern Russia, they move southwards towards the northern Persia. Those nowadays they call Iran, northern side. From there they settle down, and after that, one branch moved of the tribe, Aryan tribe, moved to Iran. another tribe moved downward to northern Afghanistan. So this Aryan were fair skin, different from the Tamil, the dark skin, you know. This Aryan, the nose got sharp one, not unlike the Tamil Nadu, flat, big nose, big lips, all this dark skin. They call Austrian noise or something, Austrian type lah, or aboriginal, the same type lah, dark skin lah. So when Aryan migrated from Central Asia to northern Afghanistan, then slowly they moved southeast to northern Pakistan, the side. So those days, we no such country called Pakistan or Afghanistan. For convenience, we call it Northwest India, near the Indus River Valley, the site. They settled down there for quite some time, over years. Then from there, because they found the Hindu rivers, this and that, flat land. So their life is not 100% nomadic, half settled down to, do cultivation, you see, limited agriculture. So these Aryans, they spoke not Tamil, not Indian, their type of languages, and dialect. Normally the ruling class, they spoke the type called Vedic Sanskrit. It's an ancient form of Sanskrit, not the modern. Modern one is the refined, after how many thousand over years, slowly they refined to modern Sanskrit. That prior to this, they have no such system called grammar, sentence construction. Yes, the type of Sanskrit they call Vedic Sanskrit. Why they call Vedic? Because the earliest this text, they are religious text they call Veda. Use these languages, this Sanskrit to decide their mantra, poem, this and that, according to their text, Veda. So they would call Vedic Sanskrit. So they spoke the type of Vedic Sanskrit, slightly, you can say, related to modern Sanskrit, you see. So Aryan came, year is not important, never mind, you don't memorize. Like those days we study history, what year they came to here, what day. So don't worry, you see, just give some idea. They migrated to Northwest India sometime about 4,000 years ago, you can say 3,005. Then Indus Valley first. They settled there for quite some time. You see, later only they moved to Ganges. That was a later thing. So they settled down in Northwest India. As I say, not 100% nomadic life. Some of them start doing farming and then rear cattle. In the time, they are still quite okay. They consider cow. Yeah, cow is very important. Cow is a wealth. You see, money, no coin, no money, but the cow is the money, a form of wealth. See, this their concept. We don't go into details how they live, what and what. That one is beyond your syllabus, you see. So this Aryan from Indus Valley, you roughly in your mind, you must have a map of India, up to now. Northwest India, the Indus River Valley. Modern day, they call Pakistan. Further west, Afghanistan. Then further up, Iran, Persia, Central Asia. Have a map in your head. Then after a few hundred years staying in the Northwest, some of them moved to mainland India. Slowly move to the mid-Ganges River that side, because that side the land fertile, flat, suitable for cultivation, plenty of water, you see. So they left West India, the Hindus very probably due to the economic, not economic, environmental problem. That the place was quite dry, quite hot, quite arid. So they moved to the Ganges side, more suitable. They found a lot of water. The land was fertile, suitable for to plant rice, millet, barley, etc. You see. So few hundred years later, they moved from northwest India, the Indus Valley, to central northern part of central northern part of India. You see, we call mid Ganges. You see. So they settled down mid Ganges. There are a lot of historical happening start occurring, you see. So what happened? Due to the fertile land, they plant, they clear the forest, plenty water. So they have more than enough rice, food, all this to feed their own people. As a result, population increase. So that was the beginning of all this historical happening that culminated or resulting the formation of so many philosophical schools in India those days. There are at least few factors that we are going to discuss. So when after the Aryan came and settled down in mid Ganges River, population increased. Okay, as a result of population increase, then of course the economic affect the economy, commercial activity, then a lot of social activity, because the Aryan began to organize a society, the people into caste system. Then the Aryan, they have their own region systems, you see. So all this will affect all this the Indian society during that time. That time was the 6th century BCE, before Common Era. I hope you know the meaning of BCE and CE. Sister Juliana, you understand it? What's the difference between CE and BCE? Normally, I would say CE and BCE. You know, huh? If you don't know, you ask me, because here I don't have a blackboard to draw. I don't know how to draw. There was a straight line. Before Common Era, we use zero to nominate. From Common Era onwards until now, it's 2025 years. Before Common Era zero, we work backwards. There's BCE. If you say 3rd Asoka's time, 3rd century BCE, that means must be 200 over years before Common Era. If I ask you how many years Asoka until now, that means 2025 plus 200 to 300 years. Then the total should be 2,300 over years. You know how we calculate. Hopefully.
Yes, we already, yes, we know.
You know, okay. So Aryan came to settle in Ganges Basin. A lot of events that happened that resulted the formation of so many philosophical schools. And what happening? This happening we can group down into 3 factors. Economics, about the economy, about the social aspect, about the religion, as I said, as I mentioned to you. Okay. So we have to know all these factors. As I've told you, they are important, because Buddhism never appeared out of nowhere. All due to all this historical happening, all these conditions. These 3 that we are going to examine one by one. Normally, people come up with a chapter or lesson, India during 6th century BCE, correct or not? That chapter is talk about all these conditions. during Buddha's time lah. All this condition, why important? It affects the formation of Buddhism, formation of not only Buddhism, Jainism, Ajivaka, skepticism. In fact, in Buddhist text, they mention 60 over school, you know, philosophical school, correct or not? Out of which we have 6 famous so-called heretical teachers. Chinese say Liu Si Wai Tao lah. We are going to discuss at the end lah, you see. So the 3 factors that we are going to discuss that give you some the 3 types of conditions that provided some causes or some factor that result in the formation of Buddhism. First, economic factors. Why economic factors? They contributed to the formation of Buddhism. Because as I say, when Aryan came to Genghis, the population increased because they have a lot of food to feed the people, and then there's no worry about the food supply. So, second thing is that in Bihar, mid Ganges Basin, people can extract, can mine iron ore easily. It's not deep under the soil, under the ground, you know, it's alluvial site. Easily dig, and then they those stone, and then they melt the burn and the something define it, and they extract the iron. So from iron they make all these tools, equipments, easier for them to, you know, to chop down the tree, dig the ground, and then to construct canal, water canals, all for irrigation and for cultivation. That's why farming has no problem. Cultivation crop also no problem because of iron technology. So with enough food, they produce a lot of food. Then enough to feed the increased population. So if population increase, then town, urbanization. There's this period in the history of Indian Buddhism, they always call it second urbanization. First urbanization, when Aryan came and settled down in Indus Valley, Pakistan. When they moved to Ganges, second urbanization, because population increase, new centers all appear in mid Ganges Basin, all because cultivation was easier, iron technology, etc. So in fact, in Buddhist texts, you can see a lot of big town, Mahanagara, new kingdom. We increase the population and increase people. People try to look for natural resources, plant more food for people, for the citizens. So they have to expand the territory. There are 2 ways. One, attack the smaller and weaker tribal state, expand into a bigger kingdom, tribal state. All those second method, small tribal states, they join together, form a federated state. Yes, like Wajan Republic on the northern side of Magadha. Magadha was a kingdom because it attacked everywhere, it consolidate, form a kingdom ruled by a king. That's called kingdom. At least there were 4 during Buddha's time. Sawati, Kosala, capital Sawati. The king was Pasenadi, one powerful kingdom. Magadha, near Rajagaha, Pataliputra, that side, Magadha kingdom, ruled by Bimbisara, and then later succeeded by Ajatasattu, another kingdom. There Wangsa, middle side. There are at least four, but the two popular Buddhist kingdom, Kosala, near Savasti, and Magadha, near at with the capital at Rajagaha, near Bihar state today. So apart from kingdom, there were another type, as I say, federated state. For example, Wajam Republic, located at the northern bank of Magadha Kingdom. Magadha Kingdom is southern bank, Genghis, Rajagaha, northern bank, the Vaisali, the side, different. So you have a Mara Republic. You see. So many kingdoms start forming. Why? Because all these small tribal states, this when Aryan came, they did not form any kingdom, you know. They formed so many kampong community center lah. You see, we after that we is community center, they headed by a Raja lah, something like kampong king, a village chief lah, you know, they call Raja. So when all this community expand and become bigger, they join together, form a tribal state or later kingdom. Smaller one join together, form a federated state. Yes, a Malayan federated state. Each state got their own sultan. They overall joined together. They were overall king. You see, India at that time also during Buddha's time, kingdom, federated state, at least two types. You see. So population increase. People want to fight for more land to cultivate more food for their increased population. So township increase, urbanization, formation of kingdom, formation of federated state. All this happened during Buddha's time, 6th century BC. So political situation, as I say, because these states are all fighting for the natural resources, or fight or try to expand the territory. The only way to get more resources is to expand the territory lah. So because of this, very frequent fighting, very frequent wars and this and that. That's why a lot of people suffer. You see. And then government in order to recruit more people, in order to manufacture, to make more weapons, they need money. They increase the taxes. You see. So these things are political situation create a lot of problem to the people. So we have to highlight all these conditions during Buddha's time. Highlight one thing, people suffer during that time. Why Buddha talk about suffering, solve your suffering? Because that time people all suffer. You see, you cannot say, oh, why you people, Buddha right from beginning talk about suffering, end of suffering. We have to understand the condition, political condition, commercial condition during that time. Because that time everyone suffer except a few minor group of people called Brahmin, those Brahmin, the merchants who exploit the public people, masses, you see. So condition bring highlight all the suffering of the people. That's why we have to know the condition. We cannot talk about condition, bring a lot of happiness. Then how come you have all this Buddhism? Buddha talk about suffering in it. So talk about suffering, formation, Buddhism, solve about suffering. People left the home to look for happiness, all because of the condition. So when you understand the condition, you must understand this part, how people suffer during that time, you see, politics. formation, kingdom, wars, trade. The rich become richer, poor become poorer. And then we talk about the social system. Social, later we talk about the class system. The top discriminated, the bottom, lower group. You see, so lower group, they suffer, they don't have enough people. More than half, majority were the Sudra or untouchable people. So the most of people suffer and discriminated, either so due to the job occupation or the work or the society status, or because of war, famine, no food. So all these conditions, even though we can group down into three, religious, social, economic, but all because of the suffering. All these factors are brought about suffering. Okay. So we know the suffering condition during 6th century in India, particularly the place mid-Ganges basin, you see, all because of rival Aryan, or because of the population increase, or because of fighting natural resources to expand the territory, this sort of thing, or because of discrimination by the top Brahmin against the untouchable pariah, problem. You see. So now we talk about the Aryan, yeah, religious systems. Earlier on, there were two, during Buddha's time, normally people talk about Brahmanism. But before Brahmanism, we call it a Vedism. Why call it Vedism? Because the earliest sacred text or holy text of the Aryans, not the local people, this holy text belongs and compiled by the Aryan who came to India. They were compiled not in Central Asia when they migrated and settled down in northwest India, the Hindus. Then they began to compile, but have not completed yet. By the time they move up from northwest India to Ganges, they have compiled the very first, the oldest text of the Aryan people. They call Rich Veda. There are 4 Vedas, 4 Vedic texts. Okay. Later, of course, they expanded. They added in with Brahmanas, they add in with Aryanyakas, they add in with Upanishad. So 4 Vedas together with these 3 later texts, commentary texts, Brahmana, Aryanakas, and Upanishad. So these 7 categories of sacred texts of the Aryan, we call Vedic literatures. Vedic literature. The earliest 4 one, Rig Veda, Samaveda, Yajurveda, Atharva Veda. 4 Veda we call early Vedic text. So this earliest sacred text of the Aryan, they talk about Dharani, mantra, praising the god, the type of god, not the. It's all about the nature, mountain god, the thunder god, the sky god, the moon god, Surya, Chandima, Varuna, Agni, all these are Vedic god. Even though Buddha also use the same term, doesn't mean Buddhism copy their own, because it's a common terminology used by everybody. You see. So the earliest holy text of Aryan comprised of 4 Vedic texts or 4 Vedas. The earliest one was the Rig Veda. Rig Veda. Then after that, the 3 more Vedas appear. Samaveda, Yajurveda, Atharva Veda. All talk about what? Hymn singing, not for fun, hymn singing, praising the God, poetry chanting, praising the God. Then they have spell, they have black magic, they got instruction to conduct a ritual and ceremony. What sort of practice? They have what we call animal sacrifice. Their belief, since they have many type of God, but not, we don't call it a creator God, they got multiple God. So the type of religion we call polytheism. Many God, polytheism. Later, of course, they have others may have different type called monotheism, only one supreme God, Allah. The Christian, they say Lord. The one is monotheism. But the Aryan, they believe in polytheism. Buddhism, non-theism. So theism term, So the earliest belief, religious belief of the Aryans, they're based on the 4 Vedic texts. As I say, all about God, praising God, hymn, singing. Then also in the text you find the instructions for ritual, ceremony, sacrifice, and they also drink the type of liquor called soma. So nowadays the Indian use all this the God's name Soma, Lingam, or Chandima, Bante Chandima, Surya, our friend Dr. Surya, all the Indian name or name after their gods. So we call Vedic religion, Vedism. Vedism or Vedicism also same. The polytheistic belief, belief in many gods, right? Now, polytheistic sacrificial religion of the Aryan. Polytheistic, many god. Sacrificial means animal sacrifice. They have to offer to the god. They have to do praising and chanting all the mantra. Then they have one intermediate god, they call Agni, fire god. Right? When they place all the food on the table, this and that, they have a Brahmin to conduct the ceremony. Not anybody can be the priest, Only Brahmin, the higher class of people, and not the Sudra or Palya, all this cannot. Not only the Vaisya, the kings, all this also cannot, you see. So, Vedism, when they conduct this the rituals, animal sacrifice, they
Sorry, brother. Yeah, just now we disconnected.
okay, never mind, we carry on. You see? Yes. So their system of belief, they call Vedism. Belief in multiple gods. And then when they pray to the god, they have to make a lot of animal sacrifice offering. They have to do chanting. Whole thing conducted by a priest, Brahmin. And they are very particular, They have to, determine the timing. What sort of mantra to chant, what food, this and that, very particular. Only when they conduct a ritual and ceremony according to their teachings, then the God will be happy. Then they ask for a lot of these mundane returns. They want wealth, a lot of cattle, a lot of sons, a lot of happiness, healthy body, this and that. Mundane return is what they wanted, that's all. You see, how they conducted this, they believe there's a third party, we call intermediately lah. The third party is another type of god called Agni. Agni is fire god. So they have to all this offering after chanting, after this mantra, the citation, hymn singing, praising, oh God, so God. Then after that, their food are thrown into the fire. Because of fire, there's a fire god. The fire god will bring the food to the god upstairs, up there for them to eat. You see, they go through and not like us pray like we hope, chanting the god can receive the food, not that type. So nowadays, modern day, you see a lot of Tibetan, some lah, not all lah. They practice this, you know. What we call. Can you hear me or not? Can because I see you people like that. Can hear or not? Can Never mind, you on your.
Can.
Okay. I have to remind you nowadays the modern not all the Tibetan group. There's one some of the Tibetan when they conduct the rituals, dana they call 火供, you know, Chinese say 火供. The original is not a pure Buddhist practice. It's something like model after the ancient the Aryans ceremony.
The biscuit, everything all, and then they burn it.
Yes.
Correct, isn't it?
A lot they say, oh, this is Buddhist practice. It's not. If you
The yogurt, everything all put right. Burn
for
one.
Chinese they say 火供. Gong means offering. 火 means fire. Offering through the fire. In fact, this is the Brahmanism, the Vedism, their ancient practice. Nothing to do with Buddhism offering to a monk, offering to a fire, and then fire to whom? Fire will carry the food to the Varuna god, the Chandima god, all that's the ancient practice, not Buddhist. So you have to differentiate, you know. If your friend, some Tibetan, they say, oh, Buddhist practice. No, because they never study all the history of Buddhism, you see. This is very important to rectify straighten your view, you see. It won't enlighten you, of course, but you straighten the right view, you see, that you understand whether you are on the right path or wrong path. That's important in history. You see, the worship ceremony were officiated, paragraph 2, handled by the Brahmin priest. The complex ceremony centered on a ritual. They drink soma. Soma is a type of fermented liquid, something like alcohol lah. Drinker and sacred liquor called soma. Ritual performance involve offering to a sacred fire, deified as Agni. Fire symbolize the fire god. The fire god is inside. That's why by throwing oil offering to the fire god will bring the food up. You see, that's the function. To carry the oblation to the heavenly god. See? So that's a vedism. They do all the chanting, prayer, they offer this, they hope for what? They don't hope for next good life, good karma, you know. They hope for all these mundane returns, you see. More sons, more wealth, that's all. You see, only one life. Verdict, they don't talk about the old karma, don't talk about samsara rebirth. This life, good return, that's it. That's a verdict. That's the Aryans belief, okay? So then they also, when they chant at time, they have a very powerful mantra, you know. This word appear in their text, in their verdict text. There's a holy, powerful, we call sound. It has no meaning lah. Only they believe that it carries some power. So later Buddhism, later not Theravada type, further later, they also adopted use the term pet me, all this, they also believe that carries some power. So in fact, some of the later Buddhism, the ideas are not pure Buddhistic in that way. If back to the origin, the olden days, those Aryans, Brahmins belief, practice, you see. So that's another part of history you have to differentiate. So Vedic period slowly change in later period because religion never stay the same one. On and off, after some time period, add in some idea, new element, new belief. Later, from Vedism, the new type of belief called Brahmanism. Brahmanism appears when a lot of new texts were compiled by the Aryan, especially there are two collection of the religious texts by the Aryans. One group they call Brahmana text, another group of texts they call Upanishad text. So Brahmana text explain the ritual instruction. It's a commentary, explain all the Veda about the instruction, the details, practice, rituals, this and that, how to carry out the ritual ceremony. But Upanishad is a bit different, though it talks a bit what we call ritual and ceremony, sacrifice, but it also emphasized something new, philosophy. Introduce the concept of rebirth, samsara, and karma, and morality. So it all begins in the later period of the Aryan, in the later text, the type of the group of texts we call Upanishad. So this Upanishad contains revealed truths or ultimate reality. But it introduced one important concept in Upanishad: individual soul, individual Atman, eternal Atman, non-change, fixed, never change in soul. In this one, not Buddhism, this one Upanishad belong to the Aryans. Also introduce another concept called universal soul, Brahman. So their type of liberation, moksha, is different from Buddha's teaching. To the Brahmanism, their liberation is the unification, is the unity of individual soul and the individual and the universal soul. Man and the sky, the soul joined together, no more rebirth. Different from Buddha's concept of liberation. So all this at this stage, the vedism has been changed. With a new concept of this salvation, karma, samsara. So the Brahmins' original belief of Vedism have been transformed and been renamed as Brahmanism. And the Brahmin, the priest, became very powerful. Okay. So there's a later stage regarding the change of Vedism into Brahmanism. Okay. So Rig Veda, just now we say, talks about all the rituals, ceremony, chanting, mantra, praising the God, right? Poetry, hymn singing, That type of hymn singing, that's why Buddha say, don't chant like hymn singing like Brahmin, right or not? Because Brahmin, when they chant, when they recite Sutta, they like to chant in a high and low tone, melodious tone, you know. So singing type, Buddha discouraged that type. So at the end of Rig Veda, or you can say when the Brahmin, when the Aryans was in the Northwest India, they began to introduce a system, social system, they call caste system. But the initial system was not so complicated yet, you see, until they moved to Middle Ganges. You see. So in Middle Ganges, they have a very elaborated or refined social caste system that based on occupation, based on their lifestyle, based on their status, social status, etc. Then they came up with a caste system comprising the Brahmin on the top, all the Aryans, they consider themselves as the high caste people. They can only Brahmina, they can only handle all the ritual and ceremony. They only have the right to study all the sacred texts, the Vedic, Upanishad, etc. Then other three types were the second type called Sastriya, the king, the ruling class, like the Buddha's father, all these people, governors, King Pasenadi, Bimbisara, all ruling class, Sastriya class, second class. Third class, those farmer, trader, merchants, they call Vaisya. Then the low one, the laborers, general worker, poor men, or Sudras. So later they even invented or created an untouchable Pariah class. Those road sweeper carry soil, carry all the jamban, clean jamban, all these Pariah class. So they got so many classes of people, all created by the Aryan people, you see. 4 or 5 types. Yeah, social system. They introduce a very discriminative social system. So we don't talk about the detailed social system. Say, only same caste people married with same caste. The lower caste cannot approach, cannot touch the higher caste, not even a shadow that can fall onto the body of the higher caste. They will have, to be beaten off or something like that. This one too detailed. We don't go into it. So Brahmin became a powerful. They have, as I say, they have a sole authority and a right to study the Veda, holy text. They have a right to conduct all the ritual and ceremony. They discriminated others, especially the lowest one, Sudras. You see, so those majority people suffer. They thought this Brahmin can help them. No way. So Brahminism, their belief, also cannot solve the people's problem. You see, so those people who face a problem in the society, so in a commerce area, because of the war, etc., or everybody suffer, 80–90%. So the whole society, the people all suffer every day. Now that's why Buddhism, not only Buddhism, all those people all talk about suffering, how to solve the suffering, how to get rid of all this suffering, how to find eternal happiness. That was the whole idea during that time, you see. That's so for those people who form religions like Jainism, Buddhism, why? Oh, because of all this situation, because people all suffer. There must be some reason in it for the appearance of Buddhism, etc., etc. Correct or not? All these conditions, roughly you have some ideas. You want to stop for a while? 5 minutes.
Oh, okay, brother, yeah, 5 minutes. Thank you. Stop
Fine,
recording.
huh? Ah. Hello.
Brother, yeah, wait a while, give us 1 minute.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, Brother, yeah, can start. Thank
Okay.
you.
Huh?
Thank you.
So just now we talk about the conditions, economic conditions, social conditions, political condition. Just to highlight to you how people suffer during that time. Lah. So now we talk about this vedism, Brahmanism, all these religious practices were meant for the Brahmins only, and those lower people who never benefited. You see. So in that case, when people have a lot of problem and yet they have no religion to help them, and the existing one like Brahmanism, all is meant for the benefited only the top people, Brahmins, and not the public, you see. So they have no way, no means to solve their problem. So what to do? They have to leave the house, leave the home, leave the loved one to look for the eternal happiness through those during those days. Unlike today, we have other different methods. Those days, only way is to wander, to meditate, sit down and think of the way. So a lot of these people who left the house, left the home, and wander here and there. They don't simply just walk here and walk there and then that's it. It won't solve problem. Most of the time, they live in the forest, practice, find out solution, meditate. That's all. So this group of wanderers, those days they call Parivijaka, or ascetic, or Sramana. So they wander here, they don't prepare their own food, they have no choice, they have to go for begging, alms round, you see. So,
Brother Yap,
huh?
Brother Yap, sorry to interrupt. Can I check this Veda, is it the same as the Hinduism?
Hinduism, no such term as Hinduism those days.
Oh, no such thing.
Hinduism was a modern term. After
Oh,
years transformation of the Veda, and as I say, Veda first, slowly they evolve, change to Brahmanism, add in some element. From this Brahmanism, then later they transform that, then they form modern Hinduism. So Hinduism still follow a lot of the ancient texts, Vedas, Upanishad, this and that, part of their text, you see. Just like Theravada, not all, they still adopt a lot of old texts, early sutta, correct or not? Of course, in the process, they adopted some of the later texts, correct or not? That's why the modern Theravada is a combination early and the later text. Hinduism also the same thing. Modern Hinduism, early Veda, early Brahmana, and Upanishad, all this we call Vedic text, Vedic literature. Then later they add in some modern practices like vegetarianism, organizing a Sangha group or the priest group like Buddhism. All these are later element they added in. So the transform, the new way of the Brahmanism, they call Hinduism.
Okay, Brother Yap, may I ask a question?
Yeah.
This, why this, Hindu, they put into a caste system, for what purpose actually? Not Hindu,
As I say, the caste system
ah,
created by whom? By the Aryan.
on Aryan,
High caste, yes. The formation of this caste system is another long lesson, They started initially in northwest India during the time when they first compiled Rig Veda. That time not well defined yet. They're still not discriminative yet, They just based on the Varna. When they first came, they conquer the local people. So the loser, one class, the winner, another class. So after some time, they add in the occupation, differentiated by occupation, the job. Then they created three, instead of three castes, 3 layer or 4 layers. Slowly, it's a long process. Initially, the Brahmin, the top one, not so powerful. Later part in Brahminism, when they moved to Ganges River, Brahmin has authority already, very powerful already.
Their main purpose to create this caste is because they're easy for them to manipulate them.
It's a division, divide and rule, something like that. Only the top, you say only the top Brahmin has a right to conduct rituals, has a right to read and study the sacred texts, Vedas. Others people cannot. So dirty job, leave it to the lowest group, or something like that. You see, there is a form of social status, but their social status is a bit discriminative because they look down on others. Unlike we all different castes, but we still mix with each other. You see, there is an extreme case. You see,
So
maybe
now
based on the tribe, the type of race, also based on type of occupation, a status, all in they form the caste system. Yeah.
Even nowadays, among Hindu, they still have the caste, isn't it?
Yes. Even worse. There are so many, not even 4 or 5. They have untouchable. Yes.
Instead
The
of
paria, they use the term paria some more.
yes, those are very high class one.
Yes, they don't marry
cannot marry
with
to the
others.
low class
Yes.
Then this low class one, they are what? They are very
They only mix with their own self.
own self. And then when
Cannot marry with other. Even those say the shadow low class, the paria, the shadow cannot fall on the body of the high class people.
yes.
Kill you.
But that one is in India lah. I think all of
India.
India is
That one last time Hindu, they have this belief, they practice belief, but nowadays, even until now,
They cannot stop.
still
They cannot stop.
practice it. They still
Cannot
practice
stop the
it.
problem.
They
So-
practice it, but it's not so dominant already, right?
Yeah, so not so dominant, but they still, when they
Still
get married,
practice.
children get married,
They
they
still
still
practice
insist
it.
to want to know what caste they are.
They
They are
don't
very
mix.
low class, they don't want to accept.
Mm.
If let's say the son met this girl, the low caste one, they doesn't agree, Then
That's
no
why
choice.
there's a lot of what they elope, a lot of these young couples
Yes.
that run away.
Run away.
Family.
Yeah.
When we were in India pilgrimage, we order a lot of packet food in it. So we still got a lot leftover, 5 or 6 packet. We asked the tour guide to give it to those people, sitting or sleeping in the train station. They have no food. We say give to them. Hey, the tour guide said don't give. Throw inside the rubbish bin because they are party. They say cannot give them. Like that one,
Also
No
terrible.
food also they don't
They
give.
rather throw away.
Rather throw away.
To donate it to.
To us, we try to give it to those people, poor beggars. Cannot, don't give them.
They very look down. Even they doesn't agree the son to marry the girl. And that until the extreme. And then those are low caste one, they dare not to speak their own low caste punya language. They have their own language to speak, communicate one. So they then user is now host. Oh, brother, yeah, is now the host.
Is it?
Yes.
Recording still on,
Wait, I stop and then I record again because I don't know who's recording already. Okay, I record again. Okay, but your side is gone, brother. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I know, no recording, no recording. No. The slide, brother.
The slides.
Okay or not? Slides.
No, we cannot see. We cannot see the slides.
Nothing.
Oh,
Again.
you. So no slides. Alamak.
Stop sharing and then
Oh yeah. It's new already. Just
sharing
now.
and then share again.
Wait.
Must be heavy rain, brother, yeah, isn't it, your side?
Wow. Cannot lah.
Cannot share. Stop
Because,
sharing.
because it's totally cut off, you have to on again, you see.
What is totally
Restart the whole thing.
Ah,
cut off what? You are still on,
I on, yeah, but sharing the one I cut off already,
Oh.
cut off.
We just go on with this. Our slide, brother, yeah. We have our slide, we can read ourselves lah. Like that. We just
Cannot read, huh?
can, we can read.
Can see our slides,
Yeah, we can see our slide.
Can,
Yeah.
okay lah.
Here.
You send to us already, What
Ah,
Skarigas means we see
Can,
from
okay,
Can.
So just now we talk about all the condition that brought about all the suffering, and then we talk about the religion of the Aryan. Why we talk about? Because religion cannot solve the publics, can only give them benefit. I mean, give the Brahmin benefit because they conducted a ritual and ceremony, but it won't solve the problem of all the mass people. So two things. Because of this, people left their home, their house, in search of eternal truth. What is eternal truth? How to find happiness, how to solve the suffering. That is the main objective. That's why a lot of people, in the Buddhist text, mention about 60 over groups, philosophical group and religious group. One small group, you form a group. Why? They all want to find the solutions. They never say wander here and there, then they can find solution. They have their own method, study, get the knowledge, think. So many methods for them to find out the solution. Basically, that means that this group we call Sramana group, opposed to the existing the Brahmana, the Brahmin, they call Brahmana, right? No. So these people who disagree with the Brahmins, disagree with the teaching of the Brahmanism, because it failed to offer a solution to the public one. So this group who left the house in search of solution, they wander here and there, survive on begging food. Or this group of people, they call Sramana. So the movement they call Sramana movement is a social happening, a movement whereby people left the house, form so many study group, religious group, you see. So this group of people, they have a common characteristics. So they never agree with the Brahmin that they have the right to conduct rituals. They have the right to study from Vedas, first thing. And then they disagree with the caste system. They want equal, everybody equal. So this group, number 3, all these people, they don't believe in fixed soul, transmigration, or reincarnation. Why? Because the Brahmin, as I told you, in their new text, Upanishad, they introduce a new concept called individual soul, Atman, and a universal soul called Brahman. So to them, liberation, moksha, means unification or unity of the individual soul and the universal soul. So this concept, adopted by the Brahmin, but rejected by the Sramanas. Sramanas means wanderer lah, paravijika lah, those ascetics all these are wandering here and there, Sramana. So this group of people also rejected rites and rituals, animal sacrifice, this and that. And most of them who left, they practice asceticism. So since they disagree with the Brahmana, they disagree with the Aryan priests. So they never practice animal sacrifice, they practice asceticism. Their own way of practice, their own way to find a solution to solve the problem, you see. So they focus on what? Problem in life, or what is karma, why we came to this world, how to solve our life problem, how to have a better rebirth, have a good life, eternal happiness. What's the meaning of eternal happiness? This and that. So this group of Sramana, the wanderer, they focus on these issues. They don't believe, they don't focus, they don't practice those ritualism, animal sacrifice, like those Brahmin. So they also disagree with the Brahmin, with the caste system, this and that. So two different groups, Sramana and Brahmana, existed during Buddha's time. And as I say, in the Buddhist text, there were 60 over such a group. The six main group, Buddhism, Buddha was one of those people who left their house, in this case pallets, who left the house and wander with the objective of finding the truth. This part, you know already, a life of Buddha already, correct or not? So you try to link up the part of life of Buddha, how Buddha contemplated since he was a prince, and then because of that, he left the house and become an ascetic wanderer, practice asceticism. Oh, the part of life of Buddha you can connect to this part now. It's the same. This one I talk in terms of general, not only Buddhism, Ajivaka, Jainism, Lokayata, all the people who wander and form all this ism, all because of all this condition. So if you want to apply this to the life of Buddha, also you can say, oh, during that time, 6th century BC, because of political condition, social condition, commerce, economic condition, and that brought a lot of suffering. And then Brahmanism only benefited those Brahmin who conducted ritual ceremony and earn a lot of living. Can't solve the problem of others. So Buddha left home. Same as those people, not only Buddha, so many people. So they have the same pattern, same reason. So Buddha like those wanderer also, focus on the life problem, like samsara, what is samsara, rebirth, karma, all these things. Disagree with the Brahmin caste system. All same pattern, same thinking. So this group of wanderer, Sramana, of course they come out to their intention to find a solution. How to find a solution? It doesn't mean that they wander here and there and then sit down and then beg for food, then they can get the answer. No. They have their own method. Most of them practice asceticism. Asceticism means ascetics. They live in a jungle, they contemplate, they meditate. Why they contemplate and meditate? Think of a solution and meditate to clear your mind so that you can think properly and logically, right? Not. That's why meditation was popular during that time, you see. Contemplation. This is one way for them to find a solution to solve the problem. The second way, second method that they practice, austerity, severe self-discipline. I mean, they torture the body. They thought that, oh, this body give us a lot of problem. It's a dukkha because of the body. Then we suffer. So they believe that. Not all. Of course, initially Buddha also believed in that. but later he changed method. But during those days, most of the ascetic believe in this. They thought body is the main cause of suffering. So they punish the body, get rid of all the old, all the bad habit, this and that. This is the second method. Some of the group, for example, the Jain, the Ajivaka, they practice severe or harsh practice, like standing, one day one meal, or one day few grains of rice, sleep on the floor, rough surface, or hanging themselves on the trees. So many methods. Then they behave like Kukutara Watika Sutta, Majjhima Nikaya, talk about dog ascetic, cow ascetic, also a form of asceticism lah. They thought that they behave like a cow. The next rebirth will be very good. Buddha said you were born like a cow, next life lah, correct or not? You behave a dog, instead of use a hand to eat, chopstick, you use a tongue and lick and lick, and sleep like a dog. You think you practice like that, you torture your body, you can gain enlightenment. Buddha said, no way. You next life you become a dog. In the sutta, Kokutara Watika Sutta, talk about this. So it's also another form, example, good example of asceticism during Buddha's time. 1,001 methods. We cannot list out all this, you see. Then another method is meditate and gain psychic power so that it can solve their problem. You see, solve that. I got psychic power, can handle this, I can solve that. At least basically there are 3 different methods they practice.
Hey, sorry to interrupt, brother. So I just want to clarify. That means the Vedism and Brahmanism, they don't believe in rebirth. That means only one birth. And after death, then they will be reunited with Brahma. Is that
Not
like that?
Vedism. Vedism, the very reason that the name Vedism is different from Brahmanism is that the philosophy are different, you see. Only in Upanishad, they came up with this Atman and Brahman. The theory of Atman unite with the Brahman. Then there's no rebirth.
Okay.
That's their method of liberation, moksha. Whereas Buddhism is not in this way because there's no fixed soul. Only clear
that's
of all the
Brahmanism.
defilement, no rebirth, enlightened. There's a different thing we call Nibbana. So different school got different thinking, different way of practice, different belief, So all these are different after you see, and there are so many different philosophy. You see? So basically, they group under 3 things, 3 ways to gain knowledge in order to eradicate suffering through meditation, through ascetic practice, the harsh practice, through gaining psychic power. 3 different ways. Buddhism is based on the first, meditate, contemplate, find out a solution. Of course, other school, they try to gain psychic power. They thought it can help them to solve the problem. Yet another group, Ajivaka, they say, oh, body, beat the body, suffer, then only you can solve the problem. There are 3 different ways. So now, during that time, they can, as I say, 60 over schools, philosophical schools. So out of which there are 6 major ones mentioned in Brahmajala Sutta, Sramana Sutta. These 2 are important for you to know the teaching of those 6 schools during Buddha's time. As I say, there are so many Sramana divided into so many schools with so many different types of teachings. So basically 6 are how to find out 6 from where. Sutta, early sutta, you can find out, you see. Brahmajala, Samanapana Sutta. These two main things give you a lot of information. So these 6 major types of teachers, at least we have one type called Ajivaka ascetics. Then we got Jainism, also ascetic. Jains still survive until today. Most of them are Ajivaka, Jain, or most of them are naked ascetic. Those days are very famous naked ascetic. You see. Then you have skepticism. Then you had 3 group of Lokayatas, materialists. You see. So basically, this Ajivaka, they emphasize on fatalism. Yes, nowadays the Taoism say, oh, everything fatal lah, everything predetermined lah, no help no point lah. Do this good also no point, do bad also never mind, all fated what. It's what Ajivaka believe lah. Then the 3 group of Lokayata, the materialists, one life only. Since we have only one life, nowadays a lot of people also say, oh, see, no more. No more already. Enjoy life lah. I say sensual pleasure. But don't care about do good or bad after die down. Short ke. Lokayata. So during that time, at least 6 groups. Some talk about sensual pleasure. Some talk about fatalism. Some talk about skepticism. Not sure about this, not sure about that. So all the detailed teachings here, number 1, Makali Kosala. This is example of Ajivaka. Ajivaka survived for few hundred years, you know. Even up to Asoka's time still survive. Later only die off. So this Makali Kosala been the founder Ajivaka. They believe in what? Fatalism, as I say, everything fated lah. Do good also no point lah. Do bad also never mind lah. You see, all determined. You see, but they believe in rebirth. So many samsara, so many life. But all this life all predetermined. Or this life become a monk. Next life become a king. Next life animal. And after how many life? Then the last life, then gain enlightenment. That's what they believe. Makali Kosala. He believed in strict determinism. Here, all event, human suffering, everything all fated. You can't change. You cannot change the fate. Everything are like that. See? So individual has no control of the action. Whether you do good or bad also, I don't care. You see? See, everything determined. You see? So they believe there's in this life, not only one life, there are so many lives, 84,000 lifetime, one life after another life, all fated one. This life become animal, what, all fated one, you see, same pattern. So this view, they reject the free will, spiritual practice. As I say, everything determined, whether do good, do bad, become a spiritual being, spiritual practice also no point. This is what Gosala, Makali Gosala believe lah. Ajivaka or Ajivaka. Fatalism, we remember. Then the second teacher, Jainism still survive until today. They are strict vegetarian, you see, and they emphasize on ahimsa, no harm. Most of them also naked ascetic those days, but now of course they wear the monk wear white cloth lah. They always carry a broom, Then the sieve, the filters, When they walk, they look at road, see any ants or insect or not, then use a broom, slowly clear, so that they won't harm the insects or all these things. Very, very strict Jainism. They don't do all the animal, those occupation, they will harm animal, harm living being. For example, they don't work as a butcher, a fisherman, rear cattle, all this they don't do. They only good in what? Doing all those are not involved in animal, like printing books, money changers. So most of them are very successful businessmen, you see, the Jain people. They are strict asceticism, very strict because they believe in ahimsa. Not like Buddhist ahimsa, they are extreme ahimsa, you see, non-violence. Then only they can gain liberation. You see. So they believe in eternal soul. That's different from Buddhism. And they believe in karma. Their type of karma and Buddhist karma also different, even though they all use the same word karma. Their karma is that when you do anything good or bad, whether got intention or no intention, the karma is a form of fine particles was stuck into their soul. That's why their soul get heavy, cannot be enlightened, you see. They have to torture the body, torture, remove all the karmic particles, so that the soul become very light. Then they gain enlightenment, you see. That's a theory. So they believe in soul could be purified through rigorous discipline like fasting, meditation, all sort of things. They emphasize soul and matter important avoiding harm to avoid living being. So their karma here I didn't describe in details. Their karma theory is very, very unique type, involved in particles, you see. So this is Jainism. Still exists until today. Then another third time, skeptic Sanjaya Belatiputta. Sanjaya's theory is very funny because he is a skeptic. Everything also not sure. You ask him how to gain enlightenment, whether do this good or not, do that. Can be lah. Cannot, maybe like this, maybe like that lah. Never give you a definite answer. Is a Buddha describe this teacher as well. Like you snake, wriggling here and there lah, twisted here, twisted there lah, you wiggling, avoid direct answer, you see. So you ask them about what is karma, what is afterlife, this and that, they'll avoid you, avoid here, avoid that, and never give you a right answer. That's Sanjaya. So Moggallana and Sariputta, before they became Buddhists, they were member of this Sanjaya, their teacher. This one you are aware or not? Moggallana and Sariputta. They were follower of Sanjaya Belaputra, view wiggling, until they met who? Asaji. In fact, Sariputta met Asaji, not they met Asaji. Then after the few statement, the one life of Buddha we completed already never mind we don't repeat that. Then the three group of Lokayata, materialists. As I told you just now, the general characteristic of materialists, they only believe in all those material goods, and not the spiritual thing. Karma, afterlife, all these things, samsara, all these non-tangible things, they don't believe. Only thing what they eat, Those who I can smell, I can enjoy, they believe. So they believe in it, only one life. After that, no more, no rebirth. So to them, what for I do good? Karma, all this no use. Right or not? I enjoy life, sensual pleasure. You see, this Ajita Kesakambali was a materialist. He is a founder of Lokayata school. He denied the existing of afterlife, no afterlife. That's why if no afterlife, no karma, and no rebirth, no such thing as liberation, no spiritual practice, correct or not? He said when people die, only one life only. Water go into water, wind go into wind, everything go back to the nature, that's all. So they emphasize on the sensory pressure, last one. Right or not? One life, enjoy lah to them. You see, that's a teaching of Ajita Kesa Gembali. Then another materialist, Pakuda Kachayana. This is besides the enjoyment theory or sensory pressure, believe in atomic theory. One of the earliest atomist theories in the world. He say human body, we have 7 types of element. Buddhism talk about 5 aggregate, correct or not? He talk about 7 type of element: earth, water, fire, pressure, pain, etc. So he believed that all these elements are eternal. Eternal, cannot be destroyed. So when you talk about, he never talk about killing, harming, all this, never mind. Because if you kill a people, the things are knife only go into the space. He never heard all these elements, you say. So no such thing as killing or harming or anything. So he deny what? All the moral responsibility lah. So also enjoy lifetime, materialist. Purana, the last one, Kasapa, also same thing. Moral nihilist, never believe in morality. So he deny all this karma, all these things, the same thing lah. See, so he
I know.
killing, stealing, all this, no result. Never mind. No unwholesome karma, no such thing. So 6 type of teachers. Chinese say 六师外道, right or not? 6 heretical teachers apart from Buddhism. Buddhism, that one I don't talk because separate topic, you know already. So apart from Buddha, there are 6 other group, major group, we just briefly discuss. So the last few slides I want to discuss with you, important. A lot of people say, just like recently, there's one man say, he say Upanishad is Veda, all is earlier than Buddhism. It's true. Upanishad, especially the 2 texts called Chandogya Upanishad and Brahda Aranyaka Upanishad. These 2 texts are a few hundred years earlier than Buddhism. So in these 2 texts of Upanishad, they mention about samsara, they mention about afterlife, mention of concept of karma. So people say that, since Upanishad is older than Buddhism, earlier than Buddhism, so since Upanishad mention karma, afterlife, that means Buddhism copy their concept. Is it correct? So first of all, they only look at the superficial term. Karma. Karma is not 100%. The word samsara, rebirth, moksha is not exclusive word of the Brahmanism. It's a common term, common terminology used by all the people during India at that time. Just like nowadays we say, oh, no killing. Buddhism say no killing, no stealing. Islam also say no killing. Christians say no killing. Can you say, oh, Buddhism older earlier than this Christianity? That's why Christianity copy Buddhism. We don't say that because no killing, no stealing. All these are universal value, common to everybody. So we don't say you copy this and that. So we bring back this concept to Buddhism and Brahmanism. In Brahmanism, you have so many gods, the Chandima, Sudhya, Varina, Agni. Buddhism also got the same name. Then Upanishad, they have this term, samsara, moksha, liberation, concept like karma, rebirth. It doesn't mean Buddhism copy Hinduism, right? No, if there's a wrong, give you a wrong view. If you most of you have read the book 5,000 Years of Buddhism, correct or not? Juliana, have you read the book? There's a diploma student. Most of them will read this book, and then the preface, written by Radhakrishnan, the first president of India. In the preface, is full of, oh, Buddha was born as Hindu, live as Hindu, die as Hindu. So everybody also believe what he say, But then he never realized that you talk about karma, we talk karma. There are a lot of differences. Buddha used a concept, the terminology, and interpret his own way. When you talk about no killing, you talk about your interpretation, your meaning of no killing, sentient life. Another may talk about stealing, no stealing. Your no stealing, your concept and no my steal may be different, you see. Right? So in this case, Brahmanism talk about karma, talk about afterlife, samsara, rebirth. Doesn't mean Buddhism copy that concept. Here I am bringing out the differences. You see, when we talk about karma, Veda, they never talk about karma. Veda, they emphasize on what? Ritual, ceremony. So to them, if you perform a ritual and ceremony according to the text Veda, according to their priest, that means the timing must be correct, the food must be correct, the arrangement, direction correct, the chanting correct, then the God will be happy and then give you a lot of good return, prosperity, this and that. That's the early Vedic concept. Or to them, oh, I do things correctly, I get all the good return. To you is a good karma. No. That's the Vedic attitude of so-called karma. Is based on what? Correct verbal action, correct physical action, correct or not? Then you attract a good return. That's according to the Veda. But Buddhism is different. Buddhism is mental. Morality good, only good return, good rebirth. So also karma. But your karma is different from our karma. Correct or not? We don't look at the word karma to interpret whether you and my one are the same. So later in the Upanishad, the Brahmins Upanishad, these two belong to the same group, the same type of people, the Brahmin, the Aryan. Early period we call Vedic period. Later, as I said, they believe in Brahmanism. That was during the Upanishad period. Then during the Upanishad period, the Upanishad, the text, when they talk about karma, they refer to the law of cause and effect. Okay, fair enough. Good action have a good outcome. Upanishad says that. And it is tied to the idea of moral responsibility in cycle of rebirth. Okay. But then in Buddhism, also say the same thing. Moral responsibility, talk about cause and rebirth, and then future outcome, good income. But then Buddhism introduced one thing different from Brahmanism. There is psychological aspect. That means intention. Buddhism talk about intention to do good thing. Something if you do bad without intention, it doesn't mean you have a very bad karma. But Upanishad, even though they use they injected with a moral aspect, oh, you do bad thing, but they never talk about intention, you know. Do something bad, bad outcome. Never talk about intention. Buddhism say the same thing, cause and effect, morality, plus psychological aspect, intention. That gives you the difference between the Buddhist karma and the Upanishads karma. Then you explain to your friend. People say you copy from Upanishad. Oh, you talk about karma, we are older than you, that's why you copy from us. Then you explain your karma is different from our karma. We got one extra item, element, psychology inside. That is the difference between karma between Brahmanism and Buddhism. Term will be the same lah. Interpretation are different lah, you know. Second thing, regarding rebirth, the Brahmanism they say, oh, they say the same thing. There's an afterlife, rebirth, afterlife lah. After that, after some time, then you gain liberation. There's a concept. I mean, Upanishad rebirth is the process by which, but they have different process. Their rebirth process are different. As I say, Upanishad introduced the concept of individual soul, eternal soul, and they introduce the concept of universal soul. Their liberation, moksha, means individual soul unite with a universal soul. Individual and universal join. That's their method of liberation, involved in permanent soul. But then Buddhism different. Buddhism also talk about next life, rebirth. Upanishad also talk rebirth, next life. But Buddhism rebirth never talk about fixed soul. We talk about anatta, correct or not? We talk about anicca. And then we don't talk about transmigration. When you talk about reincarnation and transmigration, you mean the fixed soul. Brahmin say fixed soul, when people die, the soul never change, jump into next life, merge with a new body, next life. And the next life die, the soul jump to the third one, another life. Fixed soul never change, eternal. Buddhism is different. We also talk about rebirth, life after life, but we don't talk about the fixed soul jump from one life to another life, transmigration. We talk it's a process. The old body, rupa, disintegrate, nama flow, even though it's not unchanged, it's still rising, falling, rising, appearing. It's a dynamic method of mental process. We call is a continuance, dynamic mental process from life to another life. It's neither the same of the previous mental system nor different, because in the process a lot of changes, you see. So this Buddhist process of rebirth is different from the Brahmin's idea of rebirth in that sense. Soul, no eternal soul, no transmigration, rather is a continuation of mental process. Two different features regarding a rebirth. Then we talk about samsara. And the Brahmanism in the Upanishad, they always talk about samsara. But their samsara, life to life, involved in eternal soul. Right now, rebirth from this life, next life in the samsara, all involve soul. But Buddhism and the out of samsara, liberation, means what? Unification of the individual soul and the universal soul. But then Buddhism, when we talk about the samsaric life, it all depends on karma, but without eternal soul, good karma, morality, then different realm, you see. And then if you out of this realm, enlightened, is called Nibbana. Is something like eradication all the defilement and nothing involved fixed soul. See? So is a different process, even though it carry the same term, samsara, next life, rebirth, liberation, but the process are different. The element inside are different between Buddhism and Brahmanism. Liberation also the same, more or less, I told you. To the Brahmanism involved in a unification, fixed soul, personal soul, individual soul, and universal. And then Buddhism, they call Nibbana. They don't call unification of soul. But Nibbana is cessation of the suffering. All the craving, everything gone, no defilement. So terms are the same. Concept interpretation are different. So you cannot say, oh, Upanishad, Brahmanism, they all talk about samsara, talk about rebirth, talk about karma. So Buddhism also talk about this, they are the same. No. Same term, different interpretation. So Buddhism is not part of Hinduism. It's not part of the Brahmanism. If you know all the detailed interpretation of all the concept, doctrine, then you should explain to people. Don't just merely look at the outside, the word, oh, you talk about karma, I talk about karma, all same. No, all these are too simple, superficial. So at the end now, okay. Question answer. So this one, we just talk about briefly the formation of Buddhism. If we don't talk about formation, the establishment, all because of the suffering during Buddha's time, suffering of all the people. People left home to look for solution. Then through various practices like asceticism, meditation, then they found a solution, like Buddha's case, found a solution. Then even the use of term like others also use the same term, but Buddha's understanding, interpretation is different through meditation, through his contemplation. So that's a beginning, that's the origin of Buddhism, and the difference from other Ajivaka or other Sramana school, all different. So any questions? So this is the main theme of this talk. Process. How Buddhism originated, how it differ from the time. That's all. Where's Juliana? Huh?
Why me?
She said, why me?
Why? Over. No problem.
Question or not?
Huh?
No question. No question.
History of Buddhism always begin with this topic, remember.
Yeah, it's always begin by this.
But very few
Isn't it?
people always start with life of Buddha. But I
Actually,
never explain to you why Buddha talk about suffering. You people, they always criticize you talk about suffering whole life. They never know the reason behind. That's a problem, you see. And people always say, oh, you copy our samsaris, and they never know the meaning, interpretation behind, you see. So the topic is history is important in the sense it clarified your wrong view. You see.
Brother, yeah. So that means under this what the Upanishad, the permanent soul when they attain moksha, they merge with the
Universal
God, right? With the
Ah.
universal. So that
Brahman.
means
Yeah.
Sramana. So that means like that means
No
their
more
permanent
rebirth.
soul would be like no more already lah, but it's
Yeah.
not into the entity, but the entity is fixed is
Ah.
permanent.
The physical body disintegrate. Inside the body, the fixed soul
Ah.
merge with universal and
So that
existed
means the
up
soul
there
is
lah.
still there, but merged with the God.
Merge in the heaven lah. Never come down lah.
Heaven lah.
No more rebirth as a human being with a body lah.
So stay in the heaven forever with the God.
However, just like Buddhism, Nama, Rupa, no more. Nama is where also disintegrate, right or not? So there's a question whether upon Nibbana, Rupa disintegrate, Nama exists or not. Sutta say disintegrate also, right or not? Some people say life never die. The Buddhist song, life never die.
Yeah,
But
very
the
famous.
one, the monk explain, is applicable to the samsaric life. In samsara, you can only say life never dies.
More question?
More question?
Any questions
Yeah, no more.
No more question.
So that's
or any mistake you can point out, Juliana, you're expert.
You are the expert, brother. Yeah, how many Dharma talks you've been sharing? Until so many part 1, part 2, part 3.
Where?
KCBA last week.
Hey, KCBA, there was a time.
KCBA last Sunday.
Whose talk is that?
No talk lah. Someone who's talk.
Last week you didn't attend that one, not open to yours, or?
I know lah, but I see, wow, you talking already can go makan some more.
How do you know? Wow, you were there.
But I don't know.
Huh? Oh, the group there.
But,
The
even the
fellowship. We
also
don't
were there, but
discuss.
correct or not?
We discuss.
Ah.
So just a Q&A session. People, you know, like after the what with our official lesson, no question. People won't ask one. When you go outside, then only they ask question.
Brother,
Right
yeah,
or
I
not?
want to ask one question. Brother, yeah.
Ask what?
Asal.
Yes, because outside thunder too loud. That's why.
Oh,
You
Sister
speak
Visaka
louder.
has a question.
Okay.
What question?
What question?
The question is, you see, we don't believe on soul. We don't say that when this body died already, there is no soul. But according to Brother Yap, you say it's our mind, the what?
Consciousness.
Consciousness,
Stream
all
of
that
consciousness.
to rebirth into another life, isn't it?
There's a Nama aspect lah.
That one is right. But in this, what is that? The Christianity, they believe in soul. They say,
Yes, yes.
they
They
believe.
always go to heaven.
Yes.
No matter how bad, they just say, yes, I do. They go to heaven.
For this Christianity, they say we have the soul, then only we go to the heaven. You all don't have the soul. How you come to heaven? You go to your what is it? Your what things are? How you go? Then I don't know how to answer. How to answer it? Brother, yeah.
Very loud. I guess.
Cannot hear.
You
Brother,
see,
yeah.
without soul, how to go to heaven?
Yes.
Consciousness,
Consciousness.
soul is the label only. Soul is the label. Soul is only the
Soul
name
is
say.
like permanent.
Consciousness will attach to the rupa. Consciousness attached to rupa. Heaven is a realm. It's not a physical place for you to go. Consciousness can travel everywhere. Mind. Now you say, where's your mind? Now in Moscow, in Beijing, my mind is there. I can travel very fast to the moon. All in your mind, in the mentality. Your consciousness, you think you are there means you are there. So you cannot you say you cannot prove that you have a soul inside. Where's your soul? Can touch, can see or not? You cannot. But if we say we have consciousness, we know, we have perception, we have feeling, at least we know. Right or not? But you say you have a soul. Where's the soul? How to touch, how to see? You cannot.
That's the location of your soul.
Where's the location? You don't know. You say your consciousness, yes, I'm conscious. My
Yes.
feeling, yes, because we have a nama aspect, feeling, perception, consciousness. All this exists, I know. You see? Right or not? But when you talk about soul, where is soul? Go to heaven. How do you know? You can't even tell where's the soul. Right or not?
Okay, thank you.
First thing you say, where's your soul? Can you touch? Can you see? You cannot. Then how to go to heaven? Go to
Okay,
Poland also, you don't know.
Brother Yap, already 6:21. I think it's Brother Yap, you say you want to go off.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So let us do the closing session. Okay, we will now do the sharing of merits with all the devas and the heavenly beings and dedicate the merits to all our departed relatives, friends, and teachers. Akasata Jabumanta Devananda Mahitika Punyantang Anamoditwa Chirandrakantu Loka Sasana Akasata Jabumanta Devananda Mahitika Punyantang Anamoditwa Chirandrakantu Desanam Akasata Jabumata Devanaga Mahindika Punyantang Anumoditwa Chirang Rakantu Mamparanti Idang Nyatinang Hotu Sukita Hontu Nyatayo Idang Nyatinang Hotu Sukita Hontu Nyatayo Idang Nyatinang Hotu Sukita Hontu Nyatayo. Together let us pay homage to the Triple Gem. Arahant Sama Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Swagato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namami Supatipano Bhagavato Sangha Sangho Sanghang Namami. With deep gratitude, let us now pay respect to our teacher, Brother Yap, by saying 3 times, Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Thank you, Brother Yap.
Thank you, Brother Ya.
So I see you in 2 weeks' time, yeah.
Yeah, 2 weeks
Yeah,
time,
2 weeks
right?
time.
Yeah.
There will be
Thursday.
second topic will be Buddhist early life Buddhist monarchism.
Oh,
Okay.
another 2 weeks. It will be
At
13.
first I thought life of Buddha we cover already and no point to repeat. So
Yeah.
early life
To repeat.
distribution.
You just go on.
So the recording can send me a copy or not?
I can. I will actually this one I will send to Sister Yong. So I will tell her that you want a copy, lah. Ask her to send to
Yeah,
you.
for
Yeah.
my record.
Okay, all right.
Okay, anything else?
That's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brother Yap.
Okay, bye.
Okay,
Bye.
thank you so much. Bye-bye. Brother Yap, you come up first. Don't come up here.
Actually, it's his recording.